Okay, welcome to the final lesson. Um, I'm just going to go over a few things in this lesson, sort of recap everything that we've learned today. And I'm also going to show you a little bit more progress that I've done on the image. So this is kind of what we ended up with in the last lesson, without the flare actually. I've taken it out here just to show you better. And then by repeating the 3 steps of the last unit, this is my next version. So basically you can see that I've applied the same, but I've just added a little bit more detail everywhere. See, added some plants here. I've added some hanging, I don't know, moss or something here. I've added some little spikes here. And basically the thing that you have to keep in mind in most is that you always apply your shape language. In my case, the corals. And that's just all it comes down to, really. See, you can see that here I've sort of added these coral-like things on top. It's just to give it, you know, a little bit more definition and really polish that work. And I've got another step, and this is the next one. And see, I've done again a new lighting layer. So I've painted in the sun with the same technique as before, just a linear add layer with a linear dodge brush. Just paint in with a round brush the sun, and that way we can add some more extra highlights, as you can see everywhere. So here some more little highlights with the dodge technique that I showed you. So yeah, I think this is enough for this image, so you can sort of see the final steps and how you should repeat them. But as a final bonus, I actually want to do one more thing to this image. And I'll do that after we just sort of recap everything that we've done. So I hope you guys remember more or less how we started this, where we were just collecting references. And as I said before, I would like you now to get your own references and to get your own juxtaposition references. So try something unique, like what I've done here with the corals. Try something else and try maybe putting it in a different kind of environment. Maybe a forest or an island, whatever you think would be nice. And then, like I showed you, you go into the sketching phase and the thumbnails in black and white, and then slowly start working out the shapes and detailing them up until you get this image. And of course, that's easier said than done, but if you follow the steps along and just practice, you should be able to get there. And you know, just watch it over if you've missed something. But I think, yeah, this is a pretty straightforward process, and the workflow that we applied is really a safe way of doing it. You almost can't go wrong because you're laying down the most important things in the beginning of the creation process, and that's what really counts. All this sort of, you know, texturing and little details, that's all good, but the foundation of your image, the real impression that we get, that's mostly what's here in the thumbnail. That is actually decided in the early phases. So that's something that you should really try to remember with every piece that you make. Okay, so that was just a quick sort of overview of everything we've done. Now I just want to add one more thing to this image to make it even cooler. And that is just, I'm just going to create a new layer, and it's just adding some sort of bioluminescence to these corals, just to give it another extra little magical touch. So we'll use the same technique as before. I'm just going to create a layer, set it to linear dodge, and I'll take my brush and set that to linear dodge as well. Okay, and I'll just take a pretty basic drawing brush. Okay, and I'll pick, maybe I'll pick this sort of green cyan kind of color. I want to pick something that is sort of the opposite of the warm hues that we have here. So you can see that it's more of a cool color, and we've got a lot of warm colors here, and this is going to make it pop out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint in the dark areas of my image. I'm going to paint like a sort of a veiny bioluminescent kind of thing that's going on. Okay, and you can see in the navigator that that's really adding like a cool little touch. And we'll try to keep it, you know, a bit subtle, not go too far with it. We don't want it to draw too much attention, but it's just to add like a little bit of extra magic to the image. And let's keep the scale in mind. So here I'll make them a bit smaller. And then here on this big one we can make them larger, obviously. And just sort of erase away wherever we don't think we need it. And if we press really softly on our tablet, we can also, of course, do some lighting effects of the light from this bioluminescence that's sort of bouncing on our objects. Maybe I can add some here. And again, I'm trying to think about that shape language. Very important. Okay, let's flip the canvas. Do a bit more work. And I'm trying to find a balance of leaving areas open and filling areas in so that we, doesn't get too busy, doesn't get too sparse either. Just sort of try to find a nice balance between those two. And then if you're happy with that, maybe you can just add like a little bit of glow to it here and there. Alright, so that's starting to look pretty cool. And perhaps we can apply a little, just a little bit here. And again, I'm sort of following the shape of what I've already got. And I want this to be quite small here. And if you need any reference, you can look at things like veins or some anatomy references, or maybe rivers or things like that. You can find these sort of fractal type shapes everywhere in nature. So if you have trouble painting it, you can maybe look up some references of that first. Okay, so I think I'm gonna sort of wrap it up. Maybe it's a bit too much here. And just continue to do that until you're happy. Just add that final little punch to the image. And we're done. So yeah, this is our final image. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class, that you learned some new techniques and that you can apply this workflow to your own work. And so yeah, go out there and make a cool and mostly original landscape with the things that you've learned today. I hope I sort of got some ideas flowing in your head so that you can come up with something yourself. And I'd be really happy to see what you guys make. So thanks for watching this class, and see you next time. Bye.